Good morning, dear students. I am Gauri Mathur. Today we are going to start Standard 10th Subject Social Science syllabus. Welcome to the new session. The name of the first chapter is Heritage of India. Heritage means the things which we got from the past. It can be from our forefathers, ancestors, etc. So, India. Students, we are Indians. If we derive, the name India came from the word Indus. Now let's start the chapter. Introduction. India is a land of ancient culture. India is a land of ancient culture. Ancient means very old. Ancient Indian scripture, Vishnu Puran states. Friends, meaning of scripture. Scriptures means the Vedas, Upanishads and all the things which our saints and sages have written. So in Vishnu Puran, it has been states that Uttaram Yatsa Mudrasya Himadreshu Chet Dakshina Varshakata Bharat Nama Bharati Yatra Sansita. This is the Sanskrit slok and it states that it means that India extends from Himalaya in north to Indian Ocean in south. Students, if we take the map of the India, here is the northern side. This is the Himalayan range, and if we expand this, it comes to the down Indian Oceans and Bay of Bengal. It is said that new descendants are called Indians. New descendants. Descendants means the inheritance. We peoples are called Indian. The people who live in the India are called Indians. Means the people who are living in this region area are called Indians. In the beginning of any auspicious ceremony, Bharatvarsh, Bharatkhand, Jambudvip, Aryabhat, etc. words are used while taking the resolutions. Friends, if we say that any resolution, any auspicious means very special ceremonies, like if we are taking the marriage also, if we are having some other national resolutions also, we use this word Bharatvarsha, we use the word Bharat Jambudvip, we use the Bharatvarsha. So friends, these are the names of our country. Our country is gifted with the natural boundaries, Himalaya in the north and sea in the east, west and south. If we see this, if we see the map, our India is covered, its boundary are natural boundaries. Natural boundary means on the north side we have Himalayas which protect us from our enemies also, and also the winds which come from the during the winter season. If we see this side, we have the west and we see the south, we are covered with the ocean. So friends, we are very much blessed by the natural resources. From all over the world, different countries mesmerized by the Indian prosperity and came to trade, settle and mingle with the Indian culture. Friends, this is the India's map. If we compare today's map with the previous map, previously the places like we say Sri Lanka, we say Bangladesh, we say Pakistan, Afghanistan, these all places were in one India only. So India was considered to be the very vast country, and the people from the different continents and the thing were attracted, mesmerized. Mesmerized means they were attracted toward our country's trade, progress, prosperous. You may be knowing that our country was said to be the Sone ki Chidiya. Yes, the golden sparrow. This is the people come for the trade. These people have came for the trade. Due to the mutual exchange, many changes have been seen in our culture. In this way, our heritage is transferred from generation to generation and it continuously progressing. So, due to the mutual exchange means we are exchanging our ideas, our thoughts, our things with each other peoples from the different countries, and by this way, in this way, our heritage has been transferred from generation to generation, with the next generation to the next generation, and what we have been owned now. And it is also continuously progressing. Now, due to mutual exchange, many changes have been seen in our culture. In this way, our heritage is transferred from generation to generation and it is continuously progressing. Students, we can see these are the pictures. These are the pictures of the ancient monuments, architects, temple, and the things have been built up in the ancient time, but still we are having the charm and the attraction of these things. And yes, we are also having the good tourism department also, which is earning a good income, national income. Students, if we talk about the India's location and area, so if we say the location, India lies in the Asia's continent and completely it lies in the eastern hemisphere. And if we say about the area wise we are ranked 7th. Yes, it was a very vast in ancient time. Now area wise it stands 7th rank and population wise we stand 2nd rank. So students, you have to remember this question may be asked in the 1 mark also. So you have to remember that as area wise our country ranks the 7th and the population wise it ranks the 2nd. Population wise 2nd. Yes, students. Let's discuss about the rich and varied heritage. Rich, prosperous, varied, various, different heritage. The things which we have got from our ancestors, which we have got from the past. So, if we talk about this, our motherland has bestowed rich and varied heritage to us, so as to the world. So, it is bestowed means we have been blessed, and not only we, but the whole world has been blessed by the Indian heritage. Indian culture have been trade oriented and peace loving. Yes, students, it's a very important point. We Indian people are peace loving people. If we just take in the history, our India has never attacked on any other continent or country. So we people are peaceful living people, and these are the 3 things which realize from the Indian culture, that is Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat means honesty, truth, Satya. Chit means our body, and Anand means happiness. So person who is always having truth, honesty, purity in the heart is always happy from inside. So if you want a true happiness, students, we have to be very true and honest to ourselves and others also. So this is not realized. Satchidanand, Satchidanand. It's realized the Indian culture. We people are peace loving. We people are very true, honest to ourselves and others also. So we are always happy in all the situations. Besides this, Indian culture prospered and with mutual exchange of different culture of other countries which came to India and settled here. So besides the Indian culture, other peoples also have came and resided here and they have settled in the India. They have accepted the value of non-violence and peace, which have been adopted and admired by the world. Students, if we So students, as we are the peace loving, so people from the other countries also have came and reside in our country. Now they have accepted the values of non-violence and peace which have been adopted and admired by the world. Now when we are talking about the non-violence and peace, students, we cannot forget our dear Mahatma Gandhi ji, who has accepted the principle of non-violence and peace. We have got our freedom by these two principles. People right from the beginning of Indus Valley civilization till today, we have made our country rich, wealthy with their intellectuality, ability, talent and skill. Students, now let's see. Indus Valley civilization. This is one of the civilization which has been said to be the first civilization to be started on the earth, if we can say. It's a more than 5,000 years old civilization which has flourished on the bank of the river. So people right from the beginning Indus Valley civilization till today, we have made our country wealthy, we have made our country rich, prosperous by our capability, our ability, our skill, our talent, and still we are progressing in this world. We want our country to be a Vishwaguru. Innumerable scholars, innumerable means numbers of many scholars, thinkers, artists, artisans, sages, saints, scientists and historians have contributed to the growth and development of our cultures. So students, we can say that the experts, the scholars who were experts in that field, artists, thinkers, yes, thinkers, the people who think, sport-sighted people, who think about the progress of the country, who thinks about the welfare of the country, artisans, sages, saints, sages means we say Rishi Munis who have written the Vedas and all the, and scientists, historians, these all people have contributed, they have given their best to growth of our, growth and development of our culture. Yes. Students, if we say culture, this is a question, it has been asked also, explain or define culture. So when this type of questions are asked, we have to write a definition of it. So culture is what? Culture is a sum of habit. Sum of habit means whatever you are doing and the calculation of all that things is said to be the sum of habit, values, custom, traditions and conduct of the style of human. For example, if I say that there is a family who has such a routine that every day they used to get up early, they used to worship the God, they used to respect their elders, parents. So, and that is the life style of that family. You can say the routine, you can say the habit, you can say the tradition, you can say the custom also of that family. So your surroundings makes your culture. In short, if we say your background also makes your culture. So it's a very truthfully said that we should keep our background very strong. Yes. Habits, values, customs, traditions, conducts of lifestyle of human. Meaning of culture. Culture means a way of life. Way of life means students, if the way you are living your life becomes your culture. It is made of changes that occurred in public life, social rules, regulations of different societies. Students, if we take this thing, so previously if we compare, for example, in the marriages, people used to sit down, and they used to take the their food and they used to take the lunch or like that. But now the system of buffet has come. People have to do self-service. So this is the rules. Sometimes the regulations changes according to the time set and according to the different societies, according to their traditions, customs. So it happens every time that it changes also. Culture also changes as per the convenience also sometimes. So occurs in the public life, social rules and regulations of different societies. It can be said that culture is a total of habit, value, custom, traditions and ideal leading humans to the highest level. Students, if you want to take your life at a very highest level, as you have to build a very strong character, you have to build a very strong ideas, values of your life, then we can say that culture is a total habit. Whatever your habits are there will reflect as your characters. Yes, so that's why only it is from a very childhood it has been said that do not speak lie, always speak honest, be always honest, always speak truth. So these type of values are always taught by our parents, our grandparents and elders, teachers. So values, custom, traditions, ideals, leading human to the highest level. So if you want to lead the highest level of the life, you have to be very strong in your values and thoughts. It can be said that culture is a total of habit. Yes, students, now let's discuss about the cultural heritage of India. Cultural heritage means a valuable gift of our forefather to us. Cultural heritage means the valuable gift which is we have gifted. It is said a gift. Why gift it is said? Because we are receiving from our forefathers these things. We have not made, our forefather have made, our forefather have preserved it, you have conserved it and it is given in the gift to us. That's why we say cultural heritage means gift from our forefathers, our ancestors. Indian history is thousands of years old. Now in the school also you must have seen, you every day when early morning assembly is performed and we say the India pledge. We say in school pledge, I love my country and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. Yes students, this is the very important line which is connected with this chapter, that why we say these lines in our pledge. Because we feel proud for our country, we feel proud of our rich and varied heritage. So it has been said in our pledge. In this context, heritage is a precious gift from our motherland to the whole world about history of human life. We divide our heritage into two divisions, natural heritage of India and cultural heritage of India. Students, now heritage. Heritage again I am saying it's things which we have got from the past, from our ancestors, from our forefathers. So if we say how we can divide it, we can divide the heritage in two parts. Again it is the question which can be asked in the 1 mark also, it can be asked in the 2 marks also, and natural heritage of India and cultural heritage of India. So first thing which we are going to take here is the natural heritage. Suppose. Natural heritage of India. The result of close relationship between nature, environment and human life is natural heritage. How we can define natural heritage? Students, result of close relationship. If we say we are very close to the nature, we are very close to the environment, human beings are totally dependent on the nature and environment for survival. So it is a very close relationship, and we can say the combination of all these three, man, nature and environment. The combination of all these three makes the natural heritage. flowers, leaves, insects, varied landscapes, wide range of minerals, vegetation, plants and animals. So students, these are the things which we can say that our natural heritage include all these things. Accommodate means include all these things and it makes a natural heritage. We are the children of nature. Now we can say we are the children of nature as we get from nature everything. As a mother feeds her child. Students, I am just giving an example that at home our mother is always worried about us and our mother gives us all the things, all the food all the time. So same way mother nature also gives us the things, gives us the food, gives us the shelter and is always worried about us. So it can be true saying that we are the children of nature, 100%. So it has been beautifully arranged for our food, water, fresh air and dwelling to cater all our needs. So Mother Nature is worried about us and is giving us all these things time to time. Food is there, water is there, fresh air is there, which these all things are necessary for the survival of human beings. So Mother Nature is giving us all this our needs time to time and we should be thankful to the Mother Nature by not doing the pollutions and taking care of it. We treat with respect and treat. We treat nature with respect and treat. For example, our close relationship with nature are stories of Panchtantra, Jataka tales of Buddhist religion. Students, Panchtantra is the book of the stories in which the characters are mainly of the animals. The characters are animals, no human beings are taken here. And these characters plays a role in the story and give us some social message for the human beings. So, this Panchtantra, Jataka tales of Buddhist religions, and these are the examples that how we are close to our Mother Nature. So it shows a close relationship with the nature of the human being. So it's our duty also to respect, to cure and to take the care of the nature. Our classical and folk music and several ragas are based on the period of a day. Students, period of day here means prahar. Now if we take the ragas means here we can say Malhar Rag. If in the previously in ancient times the people used to sing the Malhar Rag and there used to be the rain, heavy rain used to be poured and it's also in the Deepak Rag also when Deepak Rag is being sung the Deepak, the lamp used to light by itself. So this is the power of our Mother Nature. Yes, this is the power of our peoples and we also have many things related to the Prahar. Prahar means the daytime. If we say morning, noon, evening. Yes, so there are 8 Prahars total. Similarly, Ayurveda, Unani and nature cure are also totally based on nature. Friends, nowadays we are seeing the Ramayana serials. Yes, nowadays Ramayana serial is being telecast on the television and we have also seen the Lord Hanumanji has brought the Sanjeevani Booty. That we can consider as the Ayurveda. It has been the Jadi Booty which can cure the illness or the wounds of the people. So, in ancient time people used to always depend on the Ayurveda, Unani and nature cure. These are the medical terms, yes, totally based on the nature. Yes, now in natural heritage, first thing if we consider that is the landscape. Beautiful landscapes are generally formed and due to different shapes of land. Landscapes are the means you can say you can have the various forms of the land. You can have mountains, you can have flat land, you can have plateaus. So different shapes of the land. For example, Himalaya is a landscape. How we can say Himalaya is a landscape? strange birds, animals, mountain peaks, covered with snow. Brimming rivers are the gift of Himalayas. Brimming rivers. Brimming means the rivers which continuously flows from the, which are the origin from the Himalayas. So there are the many things which we get from the landscapes. Forest of Terai and its pilgrimage places like Amarnath, Badrinath, Kedarnath and summits like Nanda Devi are Himalayas. Students, these are the pilgrimages places. Pilgrimage means religious places which are in the places in the Himalayas. Since ancient time, Himalaya is a greater importance for India. Yes, Himalaya has been a very great importance in the India. How we can say, very first Himalaya is the you can say natural border which is protecting us from the China side. And secondly, we can say that we are protected from the cold wind which is coming during the winter time. So Himalaya is like a, we can say protecting our country like a brave soldier. Yes. Second thing in the natural heritage is the rivers. Rivers have been providing natural ways since ancient times. Students, in India, rivers are being worshipped. We can say Ganga river, Narmada, we say. Yes, so these are the holy river. We consider it a very blessed and a person who, it is said that person who take bath in these rivers, their sins get disposed. Indian culture has flourished on the river bank of Indus and Ravi. Yes, we can see from here, this the blue lines which you can see are the rivers. Yes, if we say in the ancient times, rivers, if we say the oldest civilization has or other civilization also has flourished in the near the bank of the rivers only. So rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, the Indus, the Narmada, the Godavari, the Krishna, etc. profound influence the people of India. So the rivers like the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Saraswati, the Indus, the Narmada, the Godavari, the Krishna. Yes, these are the which have been influenced the people of India. Rivers are source of drinking water, domestic use, irrigations, electricity and waterways. Besides this, man dependent on river to develop industries of clay utensils, plastering and building of houses. River's water has made human life beautiful and prosperous. Landscape scenes at dawn and dusk are very fascinating on the time of river. These are the source of inspirations for artists and have enriched. Yes, students, landscape scenes. Landscape scenes during the dawn and dusk. Yeah, dawn means morning time, early morning time. Dusk means evening time. At that time, when a person is sitting near a river, bank of a river, and he is seeing that scenery, it heals him mentally also, and the sweet memories which are connected with you are remembered for the lifetime. So it has been said that these are the sources of inspiration for artists and have enriched. The lives of the people by developing the aesthetic sense. Third point in natural heritage of India is vegetation. People of India are environment lovers since ancient time. Its proof is the love and affection toward the flowers, shrubs and plants. It's very true, friends. We love flowers, we love plants. Yes, our life is totally depends on the plants, vegetations. We get the pure oxygen from this. So, it is said that people of India are environment lovers. Human, animals, birds, etc. depend on tree for their food. It's very true, friends. We are depend on the human. We human beings are totally depends on the nature for our food. Not only human beings, but animals also, birds also. They all are dependent on the food, and we get food from the vegetations. Banyan and people tree and basil are worshipped in India. Yes. Students, banyan tree, yes, basil means we say tulsi, We have many times in yes people tree also. We have seen early morning mother used to worship the tulsi plant and we take the blessings. Cereals, pulses, oil seeds, green fields, prosperous herbs, packed forest, and medicinal plants have ultra enriched our life from the ancient time. Herde, amla, bende, aloe vera, ardusi, neem, etc. medicinal flowers are rose, lotus, mogra, damaro, sunflower, champa, jui. Yes, these are made human life very beautiful, fragrant, healthy and prosperous. The social and religious life of India is greatly influenced by the vegetation. Natural heritage of India's fourth point is the wildlife. India is a nature lover since ancient time. It is a country with animal lover culture. Students, if we see, yes, in our ancient time today also we worship the animals. We have seen the great bondage of the animals with our god and goddesses also. We have seen the animals being their vehicles also. Yes, so we have said directly, religiously, we do not hurt the animals. So the god and goddesses have been taken the animals as their transportation. Tiger, lion, elephant, rhino, foxes, bear, deer, samba, rabbit, python, snake, mongoose, lizard, porcupine, like many such organisms are found and seen. These are the animals which have been almost seen in the forest of the India. Asian lions in the world are found in the Gir forest of Gujarat. You should be proud, my dear friends, that in Gujarat we have the sanctuary, lion sanctuary is there, which protect the lions from the in the natural way. Our religious belief has given the status of god and goddess vehicles to some of the wild animals, tiger, peacock, alligator, eagles, etc. Yes, friends. Even in our religious belief also, people who believe in the god and goddesses very deeply will not hurt the animals also which are associated with the god and goddesses. Like we have tiger, we have peacock, alligator, eagles. These all are the animals which the god and goddesses have used as the vehicles. Our national currency is highly valued by the having figure of 4 lions, horse and bull. Yes, students. This question is also asked sometimes that you have to state the animals' names which are in our currency. So sometimes it is twisted also and asks that which animals are seen in the currency of India. So we have to give the names of these 4 lions, bull and horses. Furthermore, to protect the wildlife reserves are created even laws for the protections of the life and have been enacted. India has gifted to the world the diverse and rich heritage. Cultural heritage is a man-made heritage. Cultural heritage is a man-made heritage. These are things which are made by the men. Whatever is received or created by the human is tagged. Wisdom, art and skill is said to be the starting from the Aryans, Kshatriya, Kushan, Hans, Persian, Turks, Arabs, Mughals, Britishers, French, etc. The people of India from the prehistoric period have contributed to the people of the world. The art of the architecture and sculptures are 5,000 years old. The remains of Indus Valley civilization is the evidence of this. Indus Valley civilization, which is considered to be the very oldest one civilization, evidence of these civilizations are found here, and we have got many remains of this which prove that people were very rich and prosperous at that ancient time also. On snake pile meeting, the remains of the figure of god and goddesses, human animals, and several toys, as well as sculptures of the bearded men and the statue of the dancer, one feels self-esteem and pride in our cultural heritage. Yes, students. So, if we see the remains of the god and goddesses, humans, animals, toys, bearded men, statue of dancers, their remains are found from the very oldest civilizations, and we feel very pride of our cultural heritage. Further, when we look at the figure of the bullock or lion on an inverted lotus, the Mauryan era, the statue of Gautam Buddha in a meditative form, or the Palakan statue of Jain Tirthankar, the caves of Ellora, Rashtrakuta dynasty, etc. By seeing this heritage, we feel proud and glad of our cultural heritage. Our cultural heritage accommodates places, buildings, sculptures, stupas, viharas, chaityas, temples, mosques, tombs, fort and gates. Even historical places of our freedom movement like Sabarmati Ashram, Dandi, Bardoli, Wardha, Shantiniketan, Delhi, etc. can also be considered as a part of our cultural heritage. Besides language, scripts, discovery of zero, mathematics, calendar, astronomy, iron, literature, religion, Yuddha Shastra, chariot, political science, zoology, botany, Vastu Shastra, religion, republic, judiciary, legislation, environmental protection, etc. are the important discoveries of India. Students, if we take these all points, yes, these all things have been the discoveries in the Indian culture. Yes, students, we are living in India and our state is Gujarat. So, we must be very aware and well known with the cultural heritage of Gujarat. So, let's study about the cultural heritage of Gujarat. Our next topic. The places having cultural legendary archaeology importance are Lothal, which is in Dholka Taluka, Rangpur, which is in Limdi, Surendranagar district, Godavira, which is in Kutch, and Rojdi or Srinagar in Rajkot district. The places of pilgrimage are Victory Tower of Vadnagar, stone inscription of King Ashoka, that is in Junagadh, Sun Temple of Modhera, Gate of Champanen, Rudra Mahalaya of Siddhapur, Munsar Lake of Viramgam, Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad, Julta Minara, Shaking Tower, Siddhi Sahib Jali, that is the Grill, Temple of Hathi Singh, Shashtralinga, Lake of Parliament, which is Rajmahal of Vadodara, Tomb of Mohabbat Khan, Parsi Aviary of Navsari are all the same place. Places having religious importance are Dwarkadish Temple of Dwarka, Shardapet of Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Somnath Temple, one of the 12th Jyotirlinga, Ambaji in North Gujarat, Banaskantha district, Bahucharaji in Patan district, Ranchodrai Temple, Dapur in Kheda district, and Shamraji Aravali district, etc. Students, these are our religious places considered to be the pilgrimages. Well-known religious, social and tourism-oriented places in Gujarat are Polo Forest, Vijayanagar Sabarkantha district, Kite Festival, Kankaria Carnival, Ahmedabad, etc. So, friends, it can be said that Gujarat also holds the biggest tourism development center also. Consequently, Jain and Buddhist caves are seen at various places in Gujarat, Bardhagar, Taranga, Khambaliya, Shamlaji, Koteshwar, Talaji, Dham, Jambedia, etc. Yes, these are the Buddhist caves, Jains and Buddhist caves. Varied culture. The next topic is the fairs of Gujarat. Fairs, yes, people. People of our India are very, we can say, festival, believes in the religion and varied festivals. We celebrate many festivals. So, varied culture of Gujarat is seen in many places. Hence, fairs. Fairs having traditional, religious and social importance are held here. These are the fairs, not just for the fun of like that, but they are related with the religious things and they are celebrated as per the tithis. So, some important fairs among them are given below. You have to remember, students, these names of the fair, tithi on which it is being celebrated and the places. It may be asked in the 1 mark objectives also. Modera fair is held on the 3rd week of January at Modera. Baucharaji fair is held on Chaitra Sud Poonam at Baucharaji. Shamlaji fair is held on Kartik Sud 11, Agyaras to Amas at Shamlaji, Aravali. Bhadarvi Poonam fair is held on Ambaji, it is Banaskatha at Bhadarvi Poonam. It's a Bhavnath Mahadev fair and is held in Magh Nom 2, Baras at Girnar, Junagadh. Tarnetar fair is held in the first week of Bhadrapad at Tarnetar in Surendranagar. Badiyat fair is held on the date of 9, 10, 11 of Rajab month of Badiyat, Ahmedabad. Nagaram fair is held in the Bhadrapad Amas to Bhavnagar. It is at Bhavnagar. Madhavpur fair is held on Chaitra Sud Navam to Teras to Madhavpur, Porbandar. Ortha fair is held on Kartak Sud Poonam at Bholta, Ahmedabad. Veeradatta fair is held on the date of 16 to 22 of Rajab month at Unava, that is Unja. Dance Darbar fair is held on Fagun Sud Poonam at Mahwa in Dam. Gol Gadeda fair is held on 5th to 7 days after Holi at Garbada in Dahod. Kartik Poonam fair is held on Fagun Sud Poonam at Somnath Gate. Mangoria fair is held till Holi to Ram Panchami at Chota Udaipur in 1. Okay friends, so these were the fairs which were held in the Gujarat as per the tithi. It varies the days sometimes, yes. So let's have the next topic, India's land and people. In this topic you will study about the people who have been inhabitants of the India's very ancient time, the first tribe which has settled in the India and other tribes which have been in the India and resided, and how the we have got the one composite culture, mixed culture. So in detail we will study in this topic. Primitive men came into existence simultaneously in India and eastern southern Africa. Mesmerized valleys and prosperous heritage, many foreign tribes to India. Consequently, the remains of all tribes are found here. The Dravidians were considered to be the most ancient people of the India. So, ancient people, if it is asked that which are the who are the people who are considered to be the Dravidians. But the moderate researchers of linguistics and anthropology have proved that even before, yes students, the meaning of anthropology. Anthropology means the study of the people, how they came into existence, how their physical features have grown, how they have started living a cultural life. So anthropology says the study of the human beings' life from starting to the steady life. So some modern researchers of linguistics, means language and anthropology, have proved that even before they used to recite the Dravidians. Before the Dravidians, also 6 more tribes came and settled in India. So let's expose more about these tribes. The first one is the Negroes, which we can also say the Hapsi people. Some historians believe that Negroes are the most ancient inhabitants of India. They came from Africa via Balochistan via India. If you see these peoples from Africa, from via Balochistan to India. It has been said that before Dravidians also these people have came and resided in India, and if we consider they were having the black complexion and height was 4 to 5 feet only, and curly hairs. They used to have the curly hairs. Second tribe which has came, that was Australoid. That is also called the Nishan people. Students, here I would like to say that the questions are also asked like write short notes on the Negroids, write the short note on Australoid, or give the special features of the Mongoloids. So you have to be prepared for this. In 2 marks it can be asked also. Australoids are also called the Nishan people. Let's see. People, this tribe came from Southeast Asia to India. These physical features, what were the physical features? They were having the black skin, their heads were very broad, yes, and flat nose and short in height. The Aryans who came in later in India called them Nishal. So these people were also called Nishal. The Aryans who have came later in India have said these people Nishal. So Australoid people are also called as the Nishal people. The origin of the tribes like Kol and Munda, tribes of Assam, the tribes of Nicobar and Myanmar have similarities to the Australoids. So if we match the physical look of these people, so the tribes like the Kol, Munda, Khasi, these are the tribes of Nicobar and Myanmar. So if you see the physical features, or some if you see they are getting matched with each other, so we can also say that these tribes have similarities to the Australoids. Their contribution in the development of Indian culture and civilization is immense. Immense means too much, very much. They have made clay utensils, wore cotton clothes, and knew many other skills. They have great religious belief too. This is a very important thing, students, that they were making the clay utensils also. Utensils which we make from the clay. They have also learned to weave the cotton clothes also, and many other skills were there in these people. And very important, they used to believe in the they used to greatly believe in the religious things. The third people were the Dravidians. The third topic, original Dravidians, belongs to India. They were the direct descendants of the Stone Age civilization and the creator of Mohenjo-daro culture. The tribes which came from north survived with their language, culture, feature. Later on, they were called the Dravidians. Dravidians gave the concept of mother as a goddess and father as a god. The concept of the god and goddesses. Yes. So, god and goddesses. If we say goddesses, we say Ma Parvati. And if we say the father is a god, we say Lord Shiva. So mother as a goddesses means Parvati Ma, and sun. We also worship the rivers. We also worship the plants. We worship the animals. So Dravidians were the nature lovers. They used to worship the nature is a gift of the Dravidians. So these are the things which we have got from the Dravidians. The tradition of worshipping with dhoop, that is incense stick, deep, that is lamp, and the aarti are considered to be the gifts of the Dravidians. Yes, students, very early morning. Also, when we are doing some religious acts, also we used to do the dhoop. We used to light the lamp. We used to recite the mantras. All these things are the gift of the Dravidians. So, should be thankful to the our culture. Besides nature and animal worshipping, etc., are the great features. We also worship animals in our culture. If we see, for example, mother is making the chapatis. Yes, the first two chapatis we keep. One chapati we keep for the first chapati we keep for the cow, gai mata we say, and the second we keep for the dog. Yes, so this is our culture that we also are taking care of the animals, and we also worship them as per their festivals also. Original practice of Dravidians have been accepted by Aryans and were re-established by them as a god of culture with the pace of time. Under the tremendous influence of North, Aryan culture was deeply internalized by the Dravidians, hence intercaste marriages took place. So, when the Aryan culture, when the Aryans have entered, they were deeply influenced by the Dravidians culture. So, intercaste marriages also have took place. So, Dravidians have matricial system of family. Matricial system here, students, if we consider matricial system, means the mother is the head of the family. Yes, matru. Matru means mother. Dravidian progressed a lot difference. Due to dominance of Aryans, they shifted to South India and settled there. Yes, now because the Aryans were deeply influenced by the Dravidians culture, also intercaste marriages have also took place. But Aryans were somewhere somehow were dominating. Yes, so because of his dominating nature, Dravidians have came from north to down. Yes, so South India and settled in South India. In South India, if we go, we see the Dravidians people there. You can see here South India. As a result, today we can see the people speaking Dravidian family language like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, etc. Other tribes. Apart from the above, Mongoloid, Alpine, Dinaric and Armenian tribes are also there in India. Students, yes, even having the Austronoi, Mongoloids and other tribes also were seen. We can see Mongoloids, Alpine, Dinaric, Armenoids. These were also the other tribes which have resides in the India, and we have got the culture from these tribes also. Mongoloids. They came to India from North China via Tibet, settled down to North Assam, Sikkim, Bhutan, West Bengal, etc. Yes, Mongoloids who have came from the North China to Tibet to India. And where they have settled? They have settled in West Bengal, Bhutan, Sikkim, North Assam. These all places they have been settled. They gradually Indianized themselves. Mongolic people possess the physical characteristics like they have yellow complexion, flat face, nose, chubby cheeks, almond-shaped eyes, etc. Having yellow complexion, Mongoloids were also known as Kirat. These people migrated from Central Asia. All these three tribes have similarities. So, Alpine, Dinaric and Armenians, they have migrated from Central Asia. And if you see, these three tribes are having some similarities. What are those? These origins of tribes are found in large number in Gujarat, Saurashtra, Maharashtra, Bengal and Odisha, formerly known as Orissa. Yes, these three tribes, mostly you will see the people in Gujarat, they will be in the Saurashtra, you can see in Maharashtra, in Orissa, Bengal, etc. Creator of Aryan civilization in India. Hindus were called Aryans in the ancient time, and the areas where they lived densely populated was called Aryavarta. Densely populated means the people were Aryan peoples were so many that population, that area was called to be the Aryavarta. Yes, they were also Hindus were called the Aryan. Now, students, one question is also asked related to Aryan. Aryans were considered to be the nature lover. So, explain the statement. So, this type of questions can be asked. As rivers were flowing over there, the region was named as the Sapta Sindhu. In ancient times, the first Aryan population was concentrated in the northwest. The area of Aryavarta was extended up to Mithila, which is now Bihar in the east. In the south, spread up to the Vindhyachal during the post-Vedic period. If we see the map from Bihar till Vindhyachal, the Aryan peoples have extended their region. The Aryans were more developed people than any other contemporary tribes. Yes, they were more developed. Contemporary here means these tribes were they were more advanced, but the Aryans were developing themselves more than these contemporary tribes. This vast land was recognized as various names as Bharatbhumi, Bharatkhand and Bharatvarsha after the name of the king Aryabharat or Bharat tribes. Aryans were the nature lover. Yes, students, as I have said you, that questions can be asked that explain the statements Aryan were nature lovers. So, why? Because they loved and worshipped the trees, the rivers, the mountains, the sun, the wind and the rain. They had composed hymns, rituals for playing various natural elements. New course of science of religion ceremonies like recitations of Vedas, performing yajna, yagyavali and other activities became prevalent in India. There was a fine amalgamation of those tribes with their specific styles of living and harmonious culture was formed, which gave a glorious and prosperous heritage. So, amalgamation. Amalgamation means the mixing of all these tribes have given these things. These foreigners and Indian tribes amalgamated in such a way over a long period of time that they lost their individual identity through intercaste marriages. Outsiders and local people were greatly influenced by language, scripts and names and religious beliefs. Played a vital role in Indianizing these foreigners. Since ancient times, a composite culture has been created in India. Composite here means mixed culture. They all then become Indians. In short, in ancient India and the amalgamation of various cultures enriched Indian culture by making it variegated and prosperous. Preservation and conservation of heritage. Yes, students, it's our duty as a citizen of India. It becomes our duty also to preserve and conserve the heritage of our country. Each aspect of India heritage made India eye-catching, picturesque and attractive. We can see here many monuments, architectures. Yes, so heritage brought out glory to the nation. India attained a leading position in the world by keeping its rich heritage protected and preserved. So we can see here sometimes we go to some heritage, some places, religious people people used to write on the wall and people used to write their names or etc. We should not do these all things. We should not damage our cultural heritage. It is a primary and pious duty of every citizen of India to see that nobody harms the ancient memorials and also to preserve places having historical importance and values. In our constitution, yes, students, again a very important point can be asked in the exam also, that in our constitution the fundamental duty of Indian citizens are mentioned. What are our fundamental duties toward our heritage? That in Article 51A, in that 6 and 7 and 9 describes the following duty for the preservation of our cultural heritage. Let's see the duties which we have to follow when we visit some memorials or historical places, what we have to do and what we have to not do. To understand the importance of our harmonious culture and prosperity and to preserve it. Maintain the forest, river, ponds and wild animals and birds along with the maintaining the natural environment and to show compassion all the living creation. Yes, students, we have to maintain the forest. We have to not cut deforestation is taking place. Rivers, we have to not pollute them. Ponds and wild animals, we have to not hunt them for our selfish motive. Birds, we should not keep them in the cage for our entertainment. So we have to maintain the natural environment and to show compassion. Compassion means we have to show the mercy toward them, we have to feel for them. They are the part of the nature and a human being is also a part of a nature. So we have to stay together, so we have to maintain our nature also here for our these living creatures. The protection of public property and giving violence are included in this. Thus, nature has created beautiful landscape. We should maintain the purity, sanctity and beauty of this place considering to be the moral duty. Yes, students, it's our moral duty. We have to preserve, protect our natural beauty landscapes. We have to maintain its purity. And you must have also seen that this is the lockdown period going on and now and then we are hearing the news that the Ganga river has become very pure, water has become very pure and it is no dirt is seen there. Rivers, even the Narmada river is also becoming very fair, pure. So things are that we have disturbed the nature, so now it's our duty, we have to cure the nature. So it becomes our moral duty also to protect the nature. The Indian heritage is an outcome of the development of the people of India over a long period of time. Nature has generously donated abundant prosperity to India. India achieved invaluable opportunities to all the field of gradual development due to the India's peculiar natural structure. In this way, the Indian heritage is a result of development of people of India in the social, economic, political and cultural field over the people of thousands of years. So friends, we have completed our first chapter and PDF of the chapter and the worksheet will be sent to you in the mobile app. So do refer and do the study at home. Stay home, stay safe.